here's the scoop. This season, I'm losing 100 pounds again. Here, proud, on purpose, out loud, no shame. I've lost 100 pounds last time, and I realized in the process, unsmushed my soul. I had this big spiritual awakening. This time, I decided to unsmush my soul first after I went through life and some regain, and I'm here to do it again, but I'm doing it almost in reverse. And I've learned so much last time. I can't wait to show you guys how I'm going to apply all of that. I'm already loving my life again already, just from going through this process. Today, I wanted to kick us off with talking about the 4 C's and mainly commitment. The 4 C's are commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. Because without all of these, you don't make it to a goal. This comes from something Dan Sullivan, the leader of Strategic Coach, teaches. And it just hit me like a rock. Like, you have to go through these phases to get any goal. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to apply it, but also how hopefully you can pick up some things. We always think like, why don't I feel committed? How come I can't get there? Sometimes the commitment is as simple as making that decision, and having confidence comes after you go through all these phases. I hear this a lot from women that, I don't feel confident. I don't believe myself that I'm going to show up. And this only comes through us practicing. Without further ado, let's dig into the 4 C's. I would love to tell you that this idea of me losing 100 pounds again just came out of nowhere and I'm all committed and on fire because it just happened. But it's really been 2 years of me going through a regain period, and I kept showing up saying, what else can I do? What else can I try? Because I knew how I had lost weight before I had this lifestyle. I loved who I was, and I just was that person. It wasn't hard. It didn't feel restrictive. Getting up and facing my fears was hard, but like the food and all of that stuff itself felt easy for the first time in my life. And you guys know what I'm friggin' talking about if you've been losing weight your whole life. I was having some issues at my job and literally sitting in my car 2.5 hours a day, back and forth to work, working, family. You guys know all the things. You got all the shit too, right? And stuff happened with my job, and I was looking for another one. I was like, maybe I can get closer to home. And a voice said, hey, what if you just go all in on you again? What would that look like? And what if you just decided to show up anyway, even when it felt hard, right? Like, this is the only way people get to goals. The difference between people that lose the 100 pounds and people that don't are they keep showing up. And part of the way I kept myself showing up was losing my weight live on Facebook. Now I'm doing it over here on YouTube. And on my podcast, I've set myself up. That's kind of an accountability of sort for myself. But my commitment first to me, I'm like, are you doing this? Yeah, I'm doing this. And I've been saying for the last couple of years, if you've been listening to the podcast or following along, and you might be new here, I was saying that I knew I didn't feel committed, that I was writing weight loss as a goal, but I didn't feel committed. What I was committed to is figuring out my health. I had a lot of health issues out here, and I was packing the weight on, and I was seeing it. Once you become the observer of yourself, which is part of this work we do here at the MEfirst Midlife Badassery podcast, right? This is about becoming the observer of yourself, about self-leadership and self-coaching and learning how to figure out, how do you even want to dream anymore? What if you dared believe you could get that goal and finally lose the weight or become a nomad or whatever it is you want? So I started asking myself, I was like, what if I just went all in on me? What would it look like? And I have been doing this vision for a couple of years of like my perfect day. And I was really trying to get it figured out because I would go to the beach and I would get inflamed and my skin would flare up and I couldn't be outside. And I was just getting so frustrated. I got to the point where I just stopped working out because I'd sweat and my face would flare up. And, you know, weight loss is only 5% exercise, right? The rest is what you're putting in your body. But there's something about having that movement and getting that dopamine hit and just feeling good because you're moving your body. At some point, I feel like I just gave up. Oh, I came over here back to Hawaii and I started a job again and I came in all gung ho and I was like, I'm doing all the things, right? And I was my gluten-free, sugar-free, it's feeling good. And yeah, I was having all this inflammation and allergies and stuff. And it just became really hard to make the decisions, having food there, sitting in my car so much, on and on. So I finally had made this decision to just go all in on me. And yes, that's entrepreneurship. That's being a life coach again, but it's also all in on me having this lifestyle I love so much that I get this abundant energy and everything else just falls in alignment. And I was doing this book from Emma Munford called Abundant. Oh shit, I can't think. Abundant Life or something. It's silver, you guys. So I was doing this book by her, and in there, there's just this one little paragraph. And this is why I do all this self help stuff. You never know what one little thing will change the trajectory of your life. Or listening to podcasts. I can't tell you how many podcasts I heard one little thing I picked up, and oh my God, it blew my mind and changed my life. For example, back in before I had lost the weight, I had just started and I found Corinne Crabtree with No BS Weight Loss. And I was listening to her podcast and she said, just put your earbuds in and just tell yourself 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. That's all you have to do. And I was like, I can do that 5 minutes. And that seems so foreign to me because I was like this type A athlete, right? Like it's like I have to swim 1,000 laps or nothing, or I've got to do 100 push-ups, not two. You know what I mean, you guys? And there's some perfectionism wrapped up in there as well. When I started to make those small little changes, I really saw this take effect in my life. But the first part was making that decision. So I asked myself, I'm like, are you ready to make this decision? Are you really ready to go all in on you? Because for a couple years, I didn't feel it. And the answer was like, yes. And I got excited. And I even ended up having a couple other job offers that were really close to home, that were like everything I thought I wanted in like a 9 to 5. And it wasn't, I was way too excited to put all my time and energy into doing the podcast and learning more and sharing more and becoming a weight loser again, right? Not that I couldn't have done that at a job. I could, but I like my job being helping inspire other people to do the shit too. Like it's what I'm made for. It's what I did for years and why I abandoned that and like stopped believing in myself was a real lesson. But you know what else was a real lesson along that way? And I think I'll get there when I get to the confidence part of this episode, you guys. But the weight gain over the past couple of years has just completely changed who I am and in a good way. I know that sounds crazy to say because you're all like, you lost 120 pounds and you're going to do it again. And that's a good thing. And it's a good thing. And I'm going to share with you why in a little bit, but I want to explain how first you make that commitment. That first part of the commitment is the decision. Like, and I'll ask women this all the time when we're working together. I'm like, have you decided that you really want this? Or are you like, oh, maybe I do? Do you want that thing more than 20 hours of Netflix and pizza in bed? Do you want those things that you know you're going to have to make changes for? And how much do you want them? And so when I ask myself, what does commitment look like? Am I willing to not eat in bed when it gets tough anymore, to feel emotions? This whole season is going to be about learning to feel emotions. Because I can tell you, yesterday, you guys, I was so friggin' proud of myself. I went into hermit mode. I learned my human design, you guys, and I am a generator 2-4. So if you don't know your human design, you can go get a free one anywhere. Just Google free human design. And so I'm a generator, which means I respond to things. Things come in my life, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's really fucking cool. Let me try that, which is why a lot of you guys like that I try all this shit because I'm a generator. The two part is I'm a hermit, which means there's times I got to just go inside myself, right? Like, I don't know if that sounded good or not, but you know what I mean? Like a hermit crab, like you just want to curl up. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much friggin' sense. Cause this whole time I was like, I think I'm an extrovert, but why do I feel like an introvert sometimes? Why do I feel like I don't have energy and I want to just like shut down? And this was me yesterday. I hit the hermit mode and I was scheduled to record this podcast and I was exhausted. My body was like, and I was going to just eat through it and work because this is what I do. This is who I was historically and what I became at corporate America again, right? Like, and I was like, we're not doing this anymore. You're going to allow yourself to hermit. So I went and I took a nap and I didn't get up from the nap. I got up for dinner time and I was like, oh shit. And I remember the first time I lost all the weight, I would do this at corporate America. I really just became like, F you, I'm going to meditate. At first, I would put it on my calendar as a doctor's appointment. And then I just started telling people, I'm like, hey, I'm going to meditate. You want to meditate with me? It was the only way, like, I made it through the day, right? It was like that time. I had started to do that again when I was back at corporate America, but like really setting out to create my business and my life this time, honoring all of that, honoring my hermit crab, honoring my generator, like getting excited about things that come and knowing I'm an emotional responder. All of these things have gone into me making this commitment to step forward toward this goal, understanding that, hey, I'm going to need to hermit. I'm going to have times where I'm going to shut down. And then I'm going to have times when the foreline is the opportunist. And this is the part of me that loves to create community, that loves networking, that loves this is why I'm creating a free school community. I'm creating a group where we really get together and do the work. I love meeting in person. It's because it's part of my DNA. It's how I'm built. But then I also have that part of me that shuts down and needs to really honor herself. And I have not honored myself before. And you see that's put 100 pounds back on me, not honoring myself and listening to that. So I decided no matter what, I'm all in on this 100 pounds, you guys. And in fact, I never stop. I have never stopped going for my goal weight. When I was losing weight and I gained it, I kept having a weight loss goal all these quarters. I still showed up and did my plan. I still showed up and said, what can I do differently? How can I adjust this? And I kept gaining weight and I kept knowing something wasn't right because I was going in the wrong direction. I just kept gaining instead of going in the direction of my goal. And part of me knew I wasn't committed. And the other part of me knew I had to seek all this other health stuff. I found medicine for my skin. I found for eczema, if you're an eczema sufferer, God, I feel you, sister. It was brutal all over my face. You can go on my Facebook page and not very long ago, find big inflamed red eczema everywhere. And so I got on a medication for that. I take Dupixent. I'm doing mold detox. I found out I've got all these toxicities in my body. And I'm doing, I got HRT, I got hormones. So we're going to get into all of that this season because midlife, it's so key, right? How many of you are just oh my God, who the frick am I? Trying to find yourself again and defining yourself, right? I don't think we're the same people we were back. Obviously, we're not the same people, right? And who do you want to become? And that's where I get jazzed. That's my sweet spot, right? Okay, so we've got the commitment. This is the first thing we need to do. We have to say, I am doing this thing. And for me, it's kind of twofold, right? I'm losing 100 pounds and starting my business again. It's kind of two big goals side by side, but they feed each other because my business, part of it is me losing weight, right? And me helping others do the same thing that I'm so passionate about because it's all I've done, I feel like, my whole life. To be unmindfucked about it, that's game changing shit. To be able to gain weight and show up and be even more confident. Who is this bitch? Okay, you guys. So we got the commitment, right? So you're in it. I don't know drop in the comments. So let me know what you're committed to. Half of it's screaming it out loud. This is a friggin' commitment. I'm here. I'm telling you live on all the channels everywhere. Hey, I'm doing it and I'm serious this time. We're doing it. I've already done it before. I'm going to do it again. And I've learned so much since then. So here's the next C. This is where it comes in. Courage. Courage to choose alignment over comfort. And by that, I mean choosing doing yoga instead of the comfort of eating pizza while I'm watching YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are two really different choices, and having the courage to step up and say, I'm going to make these commitments. A commitment to this 100-pound weight loss journey looks like me exploring good, healthy recipes, not giving up and ordering Uber Eats because I'm frustrated. Me having courage stepping into that looks like me daring to step on the scale with you guys every week, which I'm going to do live on YouTube on the Midlife Badassery channel with Addie Beal. So get over there and check that out too if you're not already. Or if you're here now, subscribe and follow along. Woo! Because I'm going to get naked on the scale on the YouTube. I might have to wear some underwear or something because my new scale is very reflective. And I'm a little worried you might see a little too much, if you know what I'm saying. So, what else is courage, you guys? Courage looks like feeling emotions instead of numbing them out, instead of drinking and eating and doing all the things to like feel shit. Oh, I don't know if I want to feel all the things, but I'm here to tell you I'm going to figure out how to feel things. And I'm going to show my daughter, my youngest daughter that I live with, that I'm going to learn how to feel things. And we're going to step into it together, and we're going to food prep, and we're going to share with each other on the journey too, just like I'm sharing with you guys. But I think it's such a great thing. My kids are so proud of me for doing this again, for leaving my job and starting my business. When your kids are rooting you on, everyone, nobody has said, "Oh, Addie, no, that's a bad idea." Everybody is like, "What the F took you so long?" So here we are, season 4. Let's friggin' go. And I'm lit again, you guys. I could cry. I woke up and I did my habit stack, and which is I meditate, I journal, I do a little yoga, I plan, and I added in, I go to the pool. It's the only place I can be comfortable here. Which is the whole reason I quit my friggin' job. Not the whole reason, but like I couldn't make that part of my habit. It's the only place I've been comfortable to move here. So when I got to that pool to walk the lazy river, I was just like, "Oh my God, I did it. I did it." And that is the thought, that is the feeling, that is the vibration of you at the goal. "Oh my God, I did the thing." Like you just can't believe yourself that you did it. Because if you have a goal that's big enough and that's hard enough, which we want, right? You need to be challenged by the goal in order to grow, then it feels almost unbelievable. But at the same point, you're like, of course it is. Because this whole time I was becoming her. I was becoming the girl that loves her life in the morning again. And she was done having her soul friggin' smushed again. Right? Like I can't fit in the corporate box. I just keep struggling. And it's not meant, I just haven't been happy. Right? Like I've been friggin' miserable, especially once I knew what it was like to have my soul lit, to be sharing and leading and creating and being in community. Like I just love that shit. And like to like be that again. Oh my God, who am I? What the fuck? Who is this bitch? So having the courage, you guys. So that's the second step in it's no mistake that my word of the year is brave. And I had all these words written out. It was like commitment and alignment and all of these things that were really important. But the predominant word was brave. Like you got some friggin' balls, Slayer. Right. And to be clear, you guys, I have no business right now, right? Because I was too busy working my corporate job. So I have no busy business. I just left. I quit. I decided to lose weight publicly again and just trust and believe in the universe that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I can feel that energy here right now. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I have to write my brain through that every single morning because the fear is friggin' huge, right? The fear is big. And this is why it's important to surround yourself by believing mirrors. This is what I call the women in our group. If you come, you're supported by other people that are going to believe in your big, crazy dreams, whether that's losing 100 pounds, starting your own business, becoming a nomad. I don't know, all kinds of stuff came up at our last event, right? And I'm like, it's because it's never about the weight. The weight is a symbol that we're not happy with other shit in our lives. And when we get up and start having the courage to say, what if I tried this thing? What if I did this thing? What if I did this a little bit differently than I have the last 500 times? And I don't mean another diet, right? Like, I'm like, I'm working with a business coach right now, and she's like, yeah, people like to download recipes. I'm like, I will never give people recipes. Well, that's not true. I have given out my Slayer Avable recipe. And if you want to know what's in anything I eat, I will tell you, you guys, but I'm allergic to everything on the friggin' planet. And now I got mold toxicity. You don't want to have to eat the way I eat. Trust me, it's no fun. That's been half the battle, right? So, anyhow, long story short, we'll get there. So, courage, brave. What does brave mean? Brave means failing and getting back up no matter what. It means, oh, I hermited yesterday. I missed 5 things I said I was going to do. It means getting back up again, getting right back on the horse, if you will. Now, if you're listening on Audible, you just missed a great visual of me riding a fake horse. Yeah, that's what you're missing on YouTube. Or Spotify now, I guess. You guys notice on Spotify when you play your podcast, they have the little video on there? I'm going to figure that out today. Yeah. Okay. So you've got commitment and courage. So you've decided what you're committed to, right? Like, what's your goal and what are you going to get? Are you losing 20 pounds, 30 pounds? Are you leaving your job? Like, what is this goal that you're going to get back up over? And what does it look for you to be brave? For me, it looked to be brave to not eat at night, to not eat in bed while I watch YouTube, to not just order Uber Eats when I get tired, to not eat when I am tired. It's brave to make myself stop what I'm doing and meditate, right? It's brave to feel the emotion. What does it look like to you to have courage for your goal? And that might just look like daring to even believe you could again and finding other people to do it with you. Now that you're courageous, you're like, I'm a badass bee with you. Let's go. I'm down. I'm committed to this thing and I am going to be brave. I'm going to show up no matter what. And what does it look like to get through where I can be confident? You have to first become capable. And this is the most important part, I think, of the 4 C's because I'm also a habit junkie. But this is where you compound your belief in yourself by showing up for yourself. Capability is your morning routine that aligns you and anchors you. Okay, you guys, so we're going to get into capability now, right? So we've got our commitment, we've got our goal we're going for. We're brave, we're courageous. We're going to get up no matter what and do it all over again. You don't have to quit your job like me. Right? But what would be like so brave for you to do? And we're going to get capable now. It's through the doings of the things that we actually become confident. We have to earn that confidence. We become capable by showing up and doing the thing. We are our habits, right? You guys have heard that before. And I'm a huge James Clear fan, huge Atomic Habits fan. You'll find it woven throughout my planner, throughout the podcast, like so much of what I talk about. It changed my life when I learned how to build a habit. So I shared with you earlier about me getting to the pool, and part of me setting up that routine and me safeguarding it because I will start to allow business meetings to get in there, to client calls to take over. I will just start to let that time creep away and give it away to everybody else. I'm determined to protect that time as much as possible. At 8 o'clock, the pool opens and I go walk to the pool. So no calls before like 9:30, right? And I've just been like on that and really guarding it as I'm setting up my schedule. Capability in doing the thing, but the habit doesn't come from, how do I want to explain this? Habits build over time, but it also doesn't need to be consecutive. And we were so mind jacked in the 80s. Remember, 21 days makes a habit. And now we're all jacked up. Like, if we miss a day, oh, I got to start over again. Right? No, you don't. It's a vote in the bucket to becoming that person you want to be. If I have to miss a day at the pool, it doesn't mean this isn't going to be part of who I am. I am going to be pool Addie. Like, this is going to be part of what I do, and I'm gonna do this. I focus on this habit for the first quarter. We do this in the Me First Guide event and workshops. We end up building this vision. Who is it I wanna become? What goal do I even want? What does it look like, right? Like, maybe when you lose weight and you see yourself in this place, maybe you're not even, like, where you are, right? Like, maybe your hair is not even the color it is. Like, you learn so much about yourself doing this process of self-discovery. That's great, right? But now I've got this gap of I wanna be this girl over here, right, who's 100 pounds less and traveling the world and living her best life, running her own business. And I've got this girl over here who's almost 300 pounds, working a corporate job, feeling like she's on this hamster wheel she can't get out of. How do I bridge the gap between these two? And this happens over time through habits. This is how you become capable. So I said, okay, we've got 300-pound corporate Addie again over here, and we've got nomad healthy Addie over here. What do we start doing now? And I kept trying things. Some were taken, some are not taken. And then I got really sick, and my habit of planning really fell away. It was like all I could do to get up and go to work. And to me, if you're not planning, if you're not being intentional, you're not intentional with your day. Now, we all say we've got our Google calendars at work, right? It's not living intentionally. That's like the shit I gotta do when I get there, right? That's not like, how am I gonna meditate today? How am I gonna eat? How am I gonna show up for myself? How am I gonna make sure that other people don't hijack my me time? How am I gonna make sure I put myself first? Right? That's what that habit looks like. And there were 7 months, and that's when I gained the most weight, you guys. When that planning habit, and I was at one of our events and I looked back through my planner and I was like, oh my God, you know why I gained like 30 or 40 pounds? Because I I was letting life happen to me and eating whatever and ordering and just like felt like I just felt so miserable I'd given up in some aspects, right? Even though I was still showing up, wasn't I had let those habits go. But the good news is, as soon as I focused back on that and I was like, make this a habit, it was so much faster for me to make a habit because I already had the brain pathways. It was like, oh, I'm in that again. That's why, like right now, like that first part of my routine, meditate, yoga, meditate, a journal, plan, and now add the pool. Those early habits are like, it's just who I am. And that's because I spent years of being that way and I couldn't like make that work with my life and the job how it was. And I love that so much. It became such a part of who healthy Addie was. And I couldn't sitting in my car 2.5 hours a day. So I quit my fucking job. That still cracks me up. This still cracks me up. Okay. You don't have to quit your job. I promise you. I did this first time with staying at corporate. The difference this time is I kept trying to unsmush my soul while I was there. I kept, because life coaching stuff, right? I'm like, I know my thoughts create my feelings and my actions. I know I should be able to mind Jedi myself. How can I love this more? And I did start to love the people. But I kept getting signs from the universe that were like, boom, boom, boom. No, Addie, you're in the wrong friggin' place, right? And it was like, how many times you gotta get smacked upside the head before you're like, this isn't the right choice for me? And I think we do this with relationships. I think we do this with money. I think we do this with jobs. It can apply to anything. Just accepting it because we think we have no alternative. And the reality is we create our lives. What if everything is energy and you're creating this just from your thoughts and the energy you're putting into the world? What if you could have whatever you wanted, the most beautiful relationship, the most beautiful home, the traveling lifestyle, a body you feel strong and confident and powerful in? What if you could believe you could have that and all you had to do was believe? And it is all you have to do. So, how do we believe? We believe by showing up, we believe by becoming more capable. So, if you ask me, can you lose this weight? Absolutely. I have no doubt I can lose this weight again. And you should get like one of those lie to me people that can tell by your facial expressions if you have doubt or not. Because I don't feel like I do because I've already shown myself I'm capable. And I'm at the point after troubleshooting for 2.5 years, trying to adjust to my new lifestyle here in Hawaii. I had uprooted everything. I don't have my own kitchen. I was sharing, like all kinds of shit's changed. right? And I was like trying to adapt this lifestyle I had into this new life that didn't accommodate Slayer. Right? So I have to create a new Slayer. That's my alter ego, by the way. She's got a sword and some badass leather shit, but we'll bring that in a later episode. And in the school community, if you join us, get your asses in there. It's a waiting list right now if you're watching this real time, but I will have it open ASAP. Okay, back to the 4 C's, you guys. You've made the commitment with me. I'm losing 100 pounds. What are you doing? Drop it in the comments. We are going to have courage. We're going to show up like the badass bees we are every single week, no matter what. Every single day, every moment is a choice. Every moment you have a decision to show up for yourself. It's that simple. How can I show myself I'm more and more capable and expand my capacity to feel emotion, to do the hard things, to show up for my physical self and my business and doing what I want to put into the world? How do I show up? By doing more and more of those things. And guess what you get out of that, you guys? You get confidence. You get confidence to be able to come on a camera somewhere and be able to say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds naturally, and I'm going to do it here with you. And you're going to see all of it. You're going to see all the mind work. You're going to see the messy. You're going to see the radiance. And we're going to do this together. And I couldn't be more excited. But that's where the confidence comes through, that capable part, trusting yourself even when it goes sideways. This is where, looping back to the beginning of the episode, where I shared with you guys about how I think that me staying, and I was doing Facebook Live still, I was doing my podcast as much as I possibly could with everything going on through regaining all that weight. And me showing up during that time gave me so much more trust and faith in myself than had I just lost 120 pounds and kept it off and kept doing the same shit. I can't tell you how much more confident I feel in the system I created, in myself, in my ability to get back up over and over and know I have the framework to do that. Because that's what this is. This is me doing this every quarter, every day, dreaming big, making a plan, daring to show up when it felt fucking hard, daring to show up when it felt really fucking hard, when it felt like I just can't even believe I'm going to go even try to plan and dream and my face itching and wanting to just lay up and turn over and showing up anyway. So how can we do that more, right? How can we show up in community is a big part of that, you guys. And this is what I loved finding out in my human design, that I'm that 4 line about building community, because it's one of the things I loved on Facebook when I first started. The communities were different over there. The algorithms or whatever were different, right? And we could really engage with each other. We had so much friggin' fun. And then things changed over there. Now you're doom scrolling reels. It's just different, right? So I found this new community on school. And I was in communities and I thought, oh my God, this is community. This is allowing me to build relationships with people all over the world. And it's very global. It is like, it's so much fun. And I feel like it's also a little different because you don't have like your full profile. It's not like your whole Facebook page is right there. It's just you and your little bio and how you want to show up. And it's about giving to a community as much as you get. It's a whole new ball game. And that lights my friggin' fire because I love community. And it's so much part of what I wanted to do. And I want to do more in real life stuff too. But I think it starts online because that's how we find our people. Community, that should be number 5, the 5 C's. We coined it here, you guys. The 5 C's. Well, we'll message Dan Sullivan to add that to it. And seriously, I think it's such a big pillar of making transformation in your life is doing it with other people that are doing it like you. So follow along here, you guys. Subscribe. I'm going to be losing it live. Look in the show notes if you want to join the community and get in and get started. Let's fucking do this, right? Let's light this bee up. Woo! I'm so excited. Season 4. Here we go. It's going to rock. And I'll be here every week sharing what I'm going through real time and also just some really amazing transformational stuff I picked up along the way. Until next week, I will see you later, witches and bitches. Slayer out.